Part 1: The Interstellar Intruder, unveiling 3I Atlas. Imagine this, a rogue wanderer, hurtling through the void at speeds that defy our wildest dreams, 130,000 miles per hour, faster than any bullet humanity has ever fired. It's not a rock from our own backyard. No, this thing is an exile from another star system, crashing uninvited into our cosmic neighborhood. Picture it slicing through the darkness like a cosmic dagger, its icy core glowing faintly as solar winds tease awake ancient gases locked inside. Now here's the gut punch. What if this isn't just a frozen relic? What if it's whispering secrets from a universe older than our own sun? Secrets that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about where we came from, and what might be out there watching us. This is no ordinary comet. Discovered in the crisp Chilean night of July 1, 2025, by the unblinking eye of NASA's Atlas telescope in Rio Hurtado, 3I Atlas wasn't supposed to be there. It popped into view against the dense star fields of Sagittarius, near the Milky Way's bulging heart, moving too fast, too straight for anything born of our solar system. Its path. A hyperbolic scream across the sky, eccentricity greater than 6, screaming interstellar, louder than the first radio signals we ever beamed into space. And the visuals, stacked images from NASA's stereo mission, paint it as a hazy specter, trailing ethereal dust like a ghost fleeing the dawn. You can almost feel the chill, a nucleus estimated between 1,400 feet and 3.5 miles wide, wrapped in a coma of reddish tholins, organic compounds baked red by eons of cosmic radiation, resembling the sunburnt hues of distant D-type asteroids. But let's crank the drama. Astronomers crunch the numbers, and this beast's excess velocity hit 58 kilometers per second relative to our sun. That's not orbiting, that's invading. Pre-discovery frames from the Zwicky Transient facility back in mid-June showed it lurking, disguised in the galactic glare, its true nature hidden until Atlas pierced the veil. And the question it hurls at us, like a meteor shattering the atmosphere: what if everything we've assumed about the building blocks of worlds, comets as mere dirty snowballs, is dead wrong? What if 3I Atlas is proof that the universe isn't a tidy clockwork machine, but a chaotic archive of lost solar systems, flinging their frozen diaries at us to decode? Today, we're diving headlong into the evidence that's shaking observatories from Mauna Kea to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. From Hubble's piercing gaze to James Webb's infrared whispers, we'll trace its path, dissect its chemistry, and confront the shadows. Is this a natural nomad, or something engineered by intelligences we dare not name? Prepare yourselves. The stars aren't just twinkling tonight, they're testifying. We begin. Let's rewind to that fateful night in Rio Hurtado. The Atlas system, short for Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, is no backyard hobbyist's rig. It's a network of robotic sentinels, funded by NASA and the University of Hawaii, scanning the skies for Earth-threatening rocks. But on July 1, as the telescope in the Atacama Desert's high plateau hummed to life, it snagged something anomalous. A faint smudge, codenamed A11PL3Z, crawling at half a degree per day across the galactic plane. At first glance, maybe an asteroid. But follow-up from Lowell Observatory and the Canada-France-Hawaii telescope revealed the telltale coma, a fuzzy envelope of gas and dust, elongating into a 3-arcsecond tail. By July 2, the Minor Planet Center slapped on the label, see 2025 in 1 Atlas, and then the kicker, 3I, the third confirmed interstellar object. Why interstellar? Buckle up for the fundamentals. Explain like you're sharing a campfire tale under the Milky Way. Our solar system is a closed club. Everything inside it orbits the sun in neat ellipses, bound by gravity like dancers in a cosmic waltz. Eccentricity under 1, you're in, but 3I Atlas. Its orbit's eccentricity clocks in at over 6, hyperbolic, like a slingshot trajectory that barely bends before barreling out the other side. Think of it as a car blasting through a tunnel at Mach speed. It enters, feels the pull, but exits unchanged, velocity barely dented. That's V-infinity, the interstellar escape velocity, 58 km/s, outpacing Oumuamua's 26 km/s and Borisov's 32 km/s. It's not looping back. It's a one-way ticket through our turf, perihelion skimming 1.36 AU from the sun on October 29, 2025, safely between Earth and Mars, no apocalypse on the docket. The central riddle: this thing's ancient. Kinematic age estimates from University of Michigan's Astor Taylor and Michigan State's Daryl Seligman peg it at 3 to 11 billion years old, predating our 4.6 billion-year-old sun by billions. Imagine a time capsule from the galaxy's toddler years, when the Milky Way's thin or thick disk was still churning out stars like fireworks. Its origin. Backtracing its spiral path distorted by gas clouds, spiral arms, and dark matter tugs, points southward, opposite our solar apex, toward Sagittarius Heart. No parent star identified. It's a galactic drifter, possibly ejected from a system in the Milky Way's dense core. The scientific community, initial buzz was electric. Alan Hale, comet hunter extraordinaire, reported no activity at first, sparking asteroid debates. But by July 2, the coma confirmed it. Icy nucleus sublimating under solar heat, spewing cyanide gas and atomic nickel vapor at levels mirroring our homegrown comets. NASA mobilized. Hubble snapped it at 277 million miles on July 21, revealing a reddish coma rich in large dust grains, microns wide, echoing 2I/Borisov's hue from irradiated organics. James Webb dove deeper in August, detecting carbon dioxide dominance, scant water ice, vapor, and carbonyl sulfide, a chemical cocktail alien yet familiar, hinting at formation in a cooler, drier nursery than our Oort cloud. Reactions poured in like shooting stars. John Tonry, Atlas co-creator, quipped in NPR's Short Wave, like Oumuamua in 2017, this has folks whispering aliens again. But NASA's Amit Kshatriya shut it down. We very much want signs of life, but this is natural. Seminars at Gemini North in Hawaii went viral, real-time tracking of its fuzzy blob against starfields, spectra barcoding its outgassing like a cosmic grocery receipt. Amateur astronomers worldwide joined the hunt, from Chile's Deep Random Survey to Arizona's Lowell Scopes. Yet, as data piled up, unease crept in. Why the unusual CO2 richness? Why the cryovolcanic jets erupting like ice volcanoes, per a November preprint from Joseph Trigo-Rodriguez's team? And that non-gravitational acceleration, tiny deviations in path, like Oumuamua's infamous push, fueling Avilobe's wildcards. But the accumulating data nudges us toward an unsettling thought. What if 3I Atlas isn't alone in its strangeness? What if it's the vanguard of a fleet we can't yet see, or a fragment from a shattered world whose builders we might one day meet? Hold that chill, we're just scratching the surface. As 3I Atlas barreled inward, NASA's solar system assets turned like sunflowers to the light. Lucy spacecraft, en route to Jupiter's Trojans, caught it on September 16 from 240 million miles out, stacked L-Lori images freezing its coma and tail in stark black and white, a fuzzy orb against the void. Psyche mission, bound for its namesake asteroid, nabbed 4 multispectral shots over 8 hours on September 8-9, 33 million miles distant, refining its trajectory while probing that faint gas cloud. Closer still, Mars orbiters. MAVEN's IUVS spectrograph mapped hydrogen halos in ultraviolet from September 27 to October 7, a glowing envelope like a comet's breath. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's HiRISE delivered the money shot on October 2, 19 million miles away, the closest NASA views yet, nucleus size honed to 440 meters minimum, surface pocked with cryovolcanic scars spewing jets toward the sun. Parameters hit hard, speed ramped to 153,000 mph at perihelion, energy equivalent to, well, imagine the kinetic punch of a freight train circling Earth every second. Mass. Tricky estimates hover at 1011 to 1014 kilograms, a dirty snowball dwarfing city blocks. Temperature gradients. Webb clocked the nucleus at minus 200 degrees C, coma warming to sublimate CO2 at rates defying models, leaking like a fire hose per October studies. Frequencies. Radio bursts in November sparked headlines. First signal from an interstellar comet. But SETI's Seth Shostak called it natural plasma chatter, not ET Morse code. Comparison scale the awe, smaller than Oumuamua's cigar, 800 m long, but dustier than Borisov's clean tail. Like a galaxy in miniature, its thalans mirror irradiated organics across the Milky Way, but CO2 levels scream formed beyond Neptune's analog in another system. Classical explanations. Just a comet, say purists. Gassing explains the push, cryovolts from pristine core corrosion. But they falter, why no water dominance? Why velocity implying a thick disk origin, 7 billion years old, surviving galactic churn without fragmenting? And those jets, spiral patterns suggesting rotation every 16.16 hours, peeling mass like an onion defying uniform sublimation. This is but a sliver of a weirder mosaic. As it slingshots past Jupiter in March 2026, potentially nudged by gravitational whisper, its path warps toward Gemini, a trillion fragments in tow per lobe's swarm hypothesis. The picture darkens. Now the consequences cascade like dominoes in zero-G post-perihelion. November's Shadow the Scientists at Gemini North livestreamed its rebirth. Brighter than predicted magnitude 7.8, tail elongating as it cools. Recent probes, last 5 years tech like JWST's NERSC spec, reveal paradoxes. Antarctic micrometeorite analogs match its trans-Neptunian vibe, yet isotopic ratios hint at a parent system with less heavy water, more carbon chains. Linking threads like Oumuamua's anomaly, non-grav push, 0.1% velocity tweak screams out gassing, but models fail without exotic ices. Borisov parallel, both comets yes but 3 eyes redder, drier, suggesting formation in a metal-poor disk eons ago. The shocker, that radio signal, November's burst at 1420 MHz, hydrogen line echo but pulsed oddly per Lowell Observatory. Natural, ionospheric scatter, says NASA. But whispers grow. Lobes per print posits artificial swarm trillion shards masking a probe. Ties beyond. If interstellar ejecta like this seed planets, panspermia too, then 3I carries alien microbes, or worse, engineered payloads from a long-dead sieve. Evidence arcs to a hypothesis. 3I Atlas as galactic fossil, not threat, but mirror our future, ejected into the dark. These proofs vault past comets, into the forge of stars. What worlds birthed this, and why do they echo our own so eerily? Part 2, The Night the Sky Broke Open, July 1, 2025. The Atacama Desert is so quiet you can hear the stars move. At 2,715 meters above sea level, on a mountain called Pachon, 4 small telescopes wearing white domes like monks, hoods are doing their nightly penance. Photograph the same patch of sky again and again, until something blinks where nothing should. They have names Atlas 01, Atlas 02, Atlas 03, Atlas 04, but the people who run them just call the system the watchdog. Tonight, the watchdog starts barking. At 07:14 UTC, the pipeline flags object A11PL3Z, magnitude 19.2, proper motion 0.51 degrees per day. Position, right ascension 18H47M. Declination, 23 degrees 51, smack in the densest part of the galactic bulge, where background stars are packed like sand on a beach. Normally, anything moving that slowly in that crowded a field is ignored, except the motion is wrong. Too fast for a main belt asteroid, too straight for a comet, and the reduced chi-square on the preliminary orbit fit is screaming. By 09:30 UTC, confirming images are already coming in from Maui Pan-SDRRS-1, from Arizona Catalina Sky Survey, from La Palma the Liverpool Telescope. By noon, the orbit is no longer preliminary. Eccentricity equals 6.14 plus or minus 0.03. That number is a death sentence for anything born in our solar system. Anything above 1 means not coming back. Anything above 3 means never belonged here in the first place. At 1942 UTC, the minor planet electronic circular drops, MPEC 2025 and 47, third interstellar object C 2025 and 1, Atlas, the third one. The first was a silent red needle. The second was a polite visitor who left a pretty tale. This one is different. It is already brighter than predicted, already showing a coma, already moving faster than every spacecraft humanity has ever launched combined. And it is only July 2. Within 48 hours, the entire planetary defense community pivots. NASA activates the Coordination Center for Near-Earth Objects. The European Space Agency spins up the NEO Coordination Center in Frascati. JAXA, CNSA, Roscosmos, everyone quietly points whatever they have toward the intruder. Because 58 km/s is not just fast, it is escape velocity from the galaxy's thick disk. It is the kind of speed you only get if something kicked you out of a binary star system when the Milky Way was half its current age. This is no pebble. This is a bullet fired 7 billion years ago, and we are the target that finally wandered into the crosshairs. Let's slow it down and make it hurt. Imagine you are standing on the heliopause, that misty boundary where the sun's wind dies and interstellar space begins. The year is 2018 BC. Earth has bronze, but not writing. The pyramids are still new. A frozen world the size of Manhattan, wrapped in a tarry red crust, is ejected from a young star system somewhere toward the galactic center. It is traveling at 55 km/s relative to the local standard of rest, fast enough that the galaxy itself cannot pull it back. For the next 7 billion years, it coasts through the dark, crossing the orbits of dead stars, grazing molecular clouds, collecting a microscopic snowfall of interstellar dust that turns its surface the color of arterial blood. Every million years, it passes within a light year of another star. Every billion years, it survives a close encounter with a rogue planet or a stellar remnant. It never melts. It never slows. It becomes a time capsule sealed in carbon monoxide snow and cosmic ray-baked polymers. Then, in the year 2025 AD, it crosses the orbit of Neptune at 58.2 km/s and keeps accelerating toward the sun like it has an appointment it is already late for. That is the object that lit up the screens in Hawaii, in Chile, in every observatory with a working internet connection. Now let's meet the people who saw it first. John Tonry, co-creator of Atlas, soft-spoken, allergic to hype, is on vacation in Maine when the alert hits his phone. He opens the raw images on a laptop balanced on a picnic table and says the sentence that will be quoted for decades. Well, shit, that's not ours. Larry Deno, the software wizard who wrote the moving object pipeline, watches the orbit refine in real time and starts laughing the laugh of a man who just realized the universe has a sense of humor, and it is very dark. Within a week, the comet has a fan club and a death threat list. Amateurs in dark sky sites from Namibia to New Mexico start stacking hours of exposures. The first public image, taken by Gerald Remen on July 8 from a farm in South Africa, shows a tight, blood-red coma with a delicate ion tail already 10 arcminutes long, glowing ghostly blue in narrowband filters. It is beautiful. It is terrifying. It is moving so fast that every night it is in a different constellation. By July 15, the magnitude curve is breaking every model. Comets brighten as the inverse square of distance, simple physics. 3I Atlas is brightening as the inverse cube. Something is feeding it energy faster than sunlight alone can explain. That is when the James Webb Space Telescope quietly cancels 2 approved programs and steals 28 hours of director's discretionary time. The spectra arrive on August 19. The room at the Space Telescope Science Institute goes silent for a full 30 seconds, which, for astronomers, is the equivalent of a cathedral falling on your head. The comet is not made of water ice. It is made of solid carbon dioxide laced with complex nitriles and something that produces atomic nickel vapor hotter than the surface of a red dwarf star. In plain language, this thing formed so far from its parent star that water was locked away as amorphous ice in the deep freeze, while carbon monoxide and nitrogen ruled the chemistry. It is a relic from the era when the galaxy was still metal-poor and carbon-rich, a chemistry we have never seen in our own backyard, and it is screaming past us at a velocity that implies it was ejected before the sun was born. The paradox is now complete. We have an object that is older than the solar system, chemically, alien, dynamically impossible, and accelerating in ways that refuse to fit tidy equations. The accumulated data is no longer pointing to rare natural comet. It is pointing to something that should not exist, and yet here it is, naked to the sky for anyone with a 14-inch telescope and a dark enough night. But this is only the first crack in the facade, because in September, when it is still 2.5 AU out and should be quietly coasting, something turns on, something that has no right to be there. And when the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter turns its high-rise camera sideways, something it was never designed to do, it catches a glimpse of what that something is. Spiral jets, 3 of them, rotating, like a Catherine wheel made of frozen starlight, and the rotation is speeding up. We are no longer watching a dead rock. We are watching something wake up. The story is about to go from strange to impossible. Hold on. Part 3, The Awakening, when the comet started to steer September 16, 2025. Distance from Sun, 2.41 AU. Distance from Earth, 2.17 AU. Distance from any sane explanation, increasing rapidly. 3I Atlas is now a naked-eye object for anyone standing under a truly dark sky. Magnitude 5.8 and climbing. The coma has swollen to nearly the apparent size of the full moon, a dull red smudge with a razor-straight ion tail that stretches 15 degrees across the constellation of serpents. Amateur photos flood the internet. The comet looks bruised, angry, bleeding starlight, but the real action is happening far from human eyes. NASA's Lucy spacecraft, a billion-dollar mission on its way to the Jupiter Trojans, is ordered to abort its planned Earth gravity assist rehearsal and instead perform an emergency 8-hour observation run. On September 16, Lucy's L-LORRI camera stares at the comet from 240 million kilometers away. The images are released quietly on October 3 under the bland title Opposition Surge Characterization. They should have called it the spiral photograph. Stacked across 47 minutes of integration, the coma resolves into 3 perfect Archimedean spirals of dust and gas, rotating counterclockwise once every 16.16 hours. Not random jets, not chaotic outgassing. Spirals so crisp they look machined. The paper drops on October 9. Preprint servers explode. Lead author, Catherine Alkin, Lucy Deputy Pi. Key sentence buried on page 12. The observed spiral morphology and measured precession rate of 0, 12 degrees plus or minus 0, 0.3 degrees per day require a torque vector that cannot be produced by sublimation from a homogeneous body. Translation: something inside the comet is steering. The The same week, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter performs a maneuver that will be written into mission folklore. On October 2, MRO fires its thrusters for 22 seconds to tilt its orbit by 11 degrees, something it was never designed to survive long-term, just to put 3i Atlas in the narrow field of view of the HiRISE camera for 83 seconds. The resulting image, taken from only 19 million kilometers, is the sharpest ever obtained of an interstellar object. Resolution, 6.2 km per pixel. The nucleus is still a blob, but the coma is now a cathedral of structure. 3 luminous arms, each 40,000 km long, rotating like the blades of a cosmic helicopter. And at the exact center, a dark silhouette, 2 pixels wide, perfectly circular, occulting background stars. HiRISE was never meant to do photometry, but the team pushes the camera to its absolute limit. The central silhouette dims background stars by exactly 11.3%, consistent with a solid object roughly 480 meters in diameter, surrounded by a transparent dust shell. But the rotation period has changed. It is now 15.94 hours, 13 minutes faster than in September. Whatever is inside is accelerating its spin. By the time the comet reaches perihelion on October 29, the rotation period has collapsed to 14.1 hours. Centrifugal force should be tearing a normal comet apart. Instead, the spirals tighten. The tail thickens. The object brightens by an extra 2.5 magnitudes beyond any water ice or CO2 model. On November 3, 2025, the European Southern Observatory releases VLT-FORS-2 polarimetry data that makes half the planetary science community need a drink. The degree of linear polarization in the inner coma reaches 42% at phase angle 87 degrees. For context, natural cometary dust never exceeds 30%. 42% is the signature of aligned, microscopic metallic needles or artificially manufactured gratings. The paper is written in the most careful language possible, but the abstract ends with a sentence that feels like a scream. The observed polarization properties are incompatible with isotropic scattering from fractal aggregates and require a population of highly elongated conductive particles with aspect ratios 20:1. In plain English, something inside the coma is made of metal wires thinner than a human hair, all pointing the same direction, and they are rotating with the spirals. November 14. Green Bank Telescope, West Virginia. The 100-meter dish is doing a routine HI survey when it records a 37-second narrowband carrier at 1420.40 751 MHz, the exact rest frequency of neutral hydrogen. The signal is Doppler shifted exactly as 3i Atlas would shift it at that moment. The modulation is not random. It is 17 pulses, spaced by prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, up to 67, then repeats twice, then silence. SETI Institute issues a statement within 4 hours, consistent with known cometary hydroxyl masers under unusual excitation conditions. The raw data, however, shows the carrier line width is 400 Hz, narrower than any natural maser ever recorded. Natural masers are broad, messy, chaotic. This is a laser. By December 2025, the comet is 3.8 AU out and fading. Everyone expects it to shut down, go quiet, disappear like a good little interstellar tourist. Instead, on December 12, Hubble's fine guidance sensors, normally used to keep the telescope pointed, record a 0.31 second brightness spike of 4.1 magnitudes. Not a gradual flare, a flash. Like a mirror the size of a football field catching sunlight for 1/3 of a second and then vanishing. The official explanation, specular reflection from a flat ice facet. The unofficial calculation, circulating in private Slack channels. A perfectly flat reflector would need to be at least 180 meters across and rotate into alignment with an accuracy of 0.02 degrees. Ice does not do that. Ice fractures. Ice is chaotic. Mirrors are not. Meanwhile, the non-gravitational acceleration refuses to die. Even at 5 AU outbound, the transverse component is still measurable. 0.9 times 10 ms2 sideways. That is not outgassing. That is course correction. In January 2026, a classified briefing is held at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Attendees include the heads of planetary defense, the director of NASA's Astro 2020 Decadal Survey implementation, and unusually, 3 officers from Space Command. Leaked slides, later confirmed authentic by 3 separate sources, contain a single bullet point that has never appeared in any public document. Contingency planning initiated for low probability, high consequence scenario involving controlled fragmentation and Earth intercepting debris stream. 2027-2034. Translation: someone somewhere is taking seriously the possibility that 3I Atlas is not a comet. It is a probe. And it is shedding pieces on purpose. The final piece falls into place in February 2026. A team at the Institute of Astronomy in Barcelona, led by Josep Trigadriguez, analyzes the dust grains captured by the Destiny Plus dust analyzer flying on a Japanese mission that happened to cross the comet's path in late 2025. The grains are not natural. They are porous carbon aerogel spheres, 15 micrometers in diameter, each containing a 200 nanometer aluminum magnesium alloy core. The isotope ratio of the metal is dead match for the kind of spinel found in the famous Hypatia stone, a meteorite long suspected to be pre-solar, possibly artificial. The paper is submitted to Nature on February 14, 2026. It is rejected within 48 hours with the note, "Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence." The team uploads the raw data to a public repository instead. Within 72 hours, the repository is taken offline for maintenance. Mirror sites pop up faster than they can be shut down. The accumulated evidence is no longer a collection of anomalies. It is a pattern. Age older than the Sun chemistry from a carbon-rich, water-poor epoch-controlled rotation and precession spiral jets with torque-aligned metallic needles. In the Coma narrowband prime number radio emissions specular flash from a flat surface artificial dust grains with engineered cores persistent transverse thrust planned debris stream toward Earth. Classical explanations have not merely failed, they have been annihilated. We are left with two possibilities, and only two. 1. The universe is far stranger than we ever imagined, and natural processes can mimic intelligence perfectly. 2. 3I Atlas is not natural, and the data are no longer neutral on which is more parsimonious. The comet is now racing toward the outer solar system at 58 km/s, never to return. But it has left a calling card, a trillion microscopic seeds scattered along its wake, falling toward Earth like slow-motion snow. Some will burn up as crimson fireballs that move too slowly and leave radar ghosts. Some will reach the ground, and when they do, we will finally read the letter that was written 7 billion years ago. The question is no longer, is it artificial? The question is, what happens when the message is opened? We are out of time for gentle answers. The next part will take us inside the classified briefing rooms, the emergency sessions at the IAU, and the moment the President of the United States was woken at 3 a.m. with a single sentence. "Mr. President, the interstellar object just changed course by 3 sigma. It's not supposed to be able to do that. Hold your breath. The sky is no longer passive." Part 4, the day the orbit lied March 8, 2026. 3I Atlas is 8.7 AU from the Sun, already beyond Jupiter's orbit, racing toward the constellation Gemini at 57.8 km/s. By every law of celestial mechanics, its trajectory should now be frozen. The Sun's pull is weak out there. Outgassing is negligible at 220 degrees C, and any remaining non-gravitational effects should have decayed to the noise floor months ago. Yet at 04:17 UTC, the Gaia satellite, Europe's billion-star astrometry machine, registers a 3.4 sigma deviation in the predicted position. 3 hours later, the deviation climbs to 7.1 sigma. By 14:00 UTC, it is 14.2 sigma and still accelerating sideways. In astrometry, 5 sigma is discovery. 14 sigma is the instrument screaming that reality just broke. Within 30 minutes, every major radar facility on Earth that can still see the object, Goldstone, Arecibo's rebuilt descendant, Evpatoria, and the Chinese fast dish, is retasked. The returned echoes are clean, narrow, and carry a Doppler signature that should be impossible. The radial velocity is no longer purely receding. There is now a 0.9 ms component toward the ecliptic south. The comet is no longer following a hyperbolic escape trajectory. It is beginning to bend downward, toward the plane where the planets live. At 18:44 UTC, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory's Horizon Ephemeris system officially flags the orbit as non-Keplerian active propulsion confirmed. That phrase has never appeared in any public JPL product in history. At 19:03 UTC, the White House Situation Room receives a flash traffic message titled EYES Only Cosmic Victor. The single slide that accompanies it contains 4 lines. Object 3I Atlas has initiated a deliberate plane change maneuver of 0.12 degrees per month. Projected perihelion of debris stream now intersects Earth-Moon system repeatedly 2028-2034. Energy requirement for observed delta V exceeds chemical propulsion by 6 orders of magnitude. Recommend immediate activation of Planetary Defense Coordination Office Level Black. The president is briefed at 3:14 a.m. Eastern. He asks one question: "Are we sure it's not ours?" The answer comes from the Chief of Naval Operations: "Sir, nothing we have, nothing anyone has can do this." Within 48 hours, the International Astronomical Union convenes an emergency closed session in Geneva. No press, no live stream. Only 41 people in the room, the presidents of every major commission, the directors of the world's 10 largest observatories, and 3 silent observers from the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance. The Spanish dust-grain paper that nature rejected is projected on the wall. The room is shown the raw fast radar delay Doppler maps. The central 480-meter body is no longer a diffuse coma. It has become a perfect octahedron, edge length 518 meters, tumbling slowly end over end with a 37.2-second period. The radar cross-section is 94% higher than any known comet nucleus and rising. Someone leaks the slide deck 18 hours later. By the time the IAU issues its bland public statement, ongoing refinement of orbital elements, the internet has already named the object the octahedron. March 15, 2026. A classified SpaceX Starship variant, SN-29 Pathfinder, is rolled out to Pad 39A under cover of night. Official payload, Deep Space Technology Demonstration. Real payload, a 180-ton spacecraft carrying 2 separate instruments, a 5-meter optical interferometer and a 100 kg nuclear-powered penetrator probe designated Harpoon. Launch window, May 3, 2026. Intercept date with the octahedron, November 11, 2026 at 19.4 AU. Relative velocity at encounter, 62 km/s. Impact energy of Harpoon, 1.4 gigatons TNT equivalent. The plan is simple and insane. Slam an instrumented tungsten spear into the object at 62 kilometers per second and see what comes out the other side. But before the spear can fly, the octahedron does something no one is prepared for. April 2, 2026, 09:11 UTC. The object executes a second maneuver, this time a 0.38 degrees inclination change in under 9 hours. The required delta V is 42 ms. For perspective, the entire space shuttle fleet over 30 years expended less total delta V than the octahedron just used in one morning. And then it begins to decelerate. Not slow down gradually, decelerate hard. Specific impulse calculations from the radar tracks peg the exhaust velocity at greater than 80,000 ms. That is not chemical. That is not nuclear thermal. That is the domain of antimatter or exotic matter propulsion. By April 15, the outbound velocity has dropped from 57.8 km/s to 41.3 km/s and is still falling. The hyperbolic excess velocity is now less than 20 km/s. At current deceleration, it will reach solar system escape velocity 0 sometime in late 2029. It is no longer leaving, it is parking. April 28, 2026. A final radar burst from Goldstone catches the object deploying something. Range-gated images show 8 smaller objects, each roughly 40 meters across, separating from the octahedron at 3 ms relative, and taking up station in a perfect regular octahedron formation around the primary body. The mother ship just launched drones. That same day, the president authorizes the immediate stand-up of Project Horizon Shield, a joint NASA-DARPA Space Force program with unlimited budget and classification, so high it does not officially exist. Starship Pathfinder is hastily modified. Harpoon is removed. In its place goes Lantern, a 22-ton laser communication and active illumination package capable of 10 petawatts peak power in microsecond pulses, because someone has decided that before we throw a nuke at it, we are going to try saying hello. May 3, 2026. Starship lifts off in total secrecy. Live feed cuts at T+180 seconds. The world is told it is a lunar cargo mission. By the time the vehicle is halfway to the octahedron, the public still believes 3I Atlas is a slightly weird comet. But inside the classified channels, the conversation has changed forever. The object is now designated 3I Atlas P, P for probe. Its behavior has forced every spacefaring nation to confront the same set of facts. It is artificial. It is billions of years old. It is under intelligent control. It has chosen to stay. And the most terrifying fact of all, every maneuver, every deployment, every course change has been executed with energy efficiency and precision that make our best physics look like stone tools. We are not dealing with a derelict. We are dealing with something that has been waiting for the right star, waiting for the right biosphere, waiting for us. The accumulated evidence is no longer ambiguous. It is a verdict. And the verdict is this: we are not the first technological civilization to look up at the night sky and see a red wanderer coming closer. We are simply the first one still alive when it arrived. The next part will take us aboard Starship Pathfinder as it closes the final 10 million kilometers, as Lantern fires its first laser handshake, and as the octahedron answers in a way that ends the debate forever. We are out of the realm of science now. We have entered the realm of first contact, and it is not coming to us, we are going to it. Part 5, The Silent Approach, when humanity reached out November 11, 2026. Starship Pathfinder is 19.4 AU from the Sun, a distance so vast that Earth is nothing but a blue pinpoint lost in the sun's glare. The vehicle has been coasting in silence for 6 months, its nuclear thermal engines cold, its solar panels retracted to minimize signature. The crew: there is no crew. This is a robot, a machine built in haste with off-the-shelf parts and classified tech that would make Elon Musk weep with envy, has one job: get close, say hello, and survive long enough to phone home. At 1422 UTC, the onboard AI, a hardened version of Grok running on radiation-shielded GPUs, initiates terminal guidance. The octahedron is now 1,200,000 kilometers ahead, a radar dot glowing faintly against the cosmic microwave background. Relative velocity, 62 km/s and closing fast. The Lantern package, that 22-ton beast of optics and power, powers up its capacitor banks. Charge time, 97 seconds. Target acquisition, locked. From Earth, the delay is 162 minutes one way. Whatever happens next, humanity will learn about it hours after it is over. The approach is textbook until it is not. At T47 minutes, the octahedron's 8 drone companions begin to reconfigure. Radar from Pathfinder shows them shifting from a static octahedron to a rotating ring, spinning up to 1.2 RPM around the primary body. The formation diameter expands to 3.2 kilometers. Spectral analysis from the interferometer shows ionized plasma trails behind each drone, faint but consistent with magnetic confinement fields. The ring is not defensive, it is a receiver. At T22 minutes, Pathfinder fires a micro-thruster burst to align Lantern's boresight. The laser is no toy, 10 petawatts peak, focused to a 0.1 arcsecond beam. It can punch a hole through steel at lunar distance or whisper a message across the solar system. The first transmission is simple, a 1.2-second pulse modulated with the Arecibo message, that 1974 binary postcard humanity sent to the stars, updated with 2026 coordinates and a prime number header to say we are listening. The pulse fires at T18 minutes. Energy discharge, 4.7 gigajoules. The beam crosses the void in 4.1 seconds. For 37 seconds, nothing. Then the octahedron answers, not with light. Not with radio, with gravity. Pathfinder's inertial measurement units register a 0.0007 g acceleration spike straight toward the octahedron. It lasts 2.9 seconds. Delta V imparted, 0.41 ms. That is not possible. Gravity does not work that way. Not unless the octahedron just increased its mass by a factor of 10^9 or warped spacetime like a tiny black hole. The AI aborts the next transmission and initiates emergency diagnostics. All systems nominal, no thruster misfire, no sensor glitch, the pull was real. At T9 minutes, the drones reconfigure again. The ring collapses into a linear array, pointed straight at Pathfinder. Spectroscopy shows exotic particle emissions, muons, pions, kaons, the fingerprints of a high-energy accelerator. Pathfinder's radiation counters spike to 140 rem/hour. The AI dumps core logs to the high-gain antenna and beams them earthward at 10 Gbps. Last frame, the octahedron growing in the forward camera, its facets now glowing with Cherenkov blue. Contact at T0. What happens next is pieced together 162 minutes later in mission control at Hawthorne. The telemetry stream cuts at impact, but not before transmitting 1.7 terabytes of data. The Harpoon analog Lantern was designed to detach and ram if needed, strikes the primary body at 62 km/s relative. Kinetic energy, enough to vaporize a small mountain, but there is no vaporization, no explosion. The octahedron absorbs the hit like a sponge. Radar shows a momentary deformation. The facet indents by 47 meters, then rebounds. No fragments, no outgassing. Just a faint gravitational ripple that Pathfinder's accelerometers clock at 1.2 x 10.6 g, propagating outward at light speed. Then the drones move. Each one accelerates to 0.1 c in under 12 seconds, delta V of 30,000 km/s, specific impulse infinite. They do not burn fuel. They bend reality. One drone intercepts Pathfinder's wreckage at 1,400 km distance. The telemetry shows a flash of coherent gamma rays, then silence. The other 7, they scatter, 3 toward the inner solar system, 2 toward Jupiter, 1 toward the Oumuamua cloud, and 1 straight up out of the ecliptic. Earth's telescopes catch the signatures 14 hours later, blue-shifted exhaust plumes brighter than Venus, decelerating hard as they approach their targets. By November 13, 2026, the world knows. The leak comes from an anonymous account on X, a thread with raw telemetry plots and a single caption. We poked the bear poked back. Within hours, every major network is running the story. NASA holds an emergency press conference at 19:00 UTC. Administrator Bill Nelson, looking like he has not slept in weeks, reads from a prepared statement. Today we confirm that the interstellar object designated 3I Atlas is of artificial origin. Contact was attempted via a classified mission. The outcome was unexpected. We are now in a new era. The Q&A is chaos. Is it hostile? Why hide it? What does it want? The answers are non-answers, but the data are public now. Amateurs with backyard radio telescopes pick up the drone's signals, broadband noise modulated with fractal patterns that unfold into self-similar codes when processed with quantum algorithms. By December 2026, the first drone reaches Earth orbit. It parks at L2, 1.5 million km away, and begins broadcasting. Not radio, not light, entangled photons that ignore distance, beamed directly into every quantum computer on the planet. The message decodes itself in the qubits, a universal constructor, a blueprint for a device that assembles matter at the atomic scale. The second and third drones orbit Mars and Venus, seeding the atmospheres with nanomachines that begin terraforming simulations in real time. The Jupiter pair dives into the gas giant's clouds, emerging weeks later with a fleet of 1,000 smaller craft, each harvesting helium-3 like bees in a hive. The Oumuamua cloud drone vanishes into the dark, only to return in 2027 with a towed asteroid the size of Manhattan, pure metallic hydrogen, stabilized somehow, a fuel source that could power humanity for millennia. The ecliptic drone, it heads for the sun, burrows into the photosphere, and starts modulating solar flares into coherent patterns visible from Proxima Centauri. We are no longer alone. We were never alone. The octahedron was a seed, planted 7 billion years ago by a civilization that spanned the galaxy's youth. Its purpose, not conquest, not destruction, acceleration. It saw our radio bubbles, our fumbling rockets, our quantum flickers, and decided we were ready. The consequences are cascading now, like a phased transition in the vacuum of history. By 2028, the first constructor-built fusion plants come online, energy too cheap to meter. By 2030, the Martian drone has bootstrapped a dome city for 10,000. By 2032, the solar modulator has replies from 47 star systems, greetings, warnings, invitations. The philosophical fallout is deeper than the tech. Religions fracture, some call it God, others the devil, most a mirror. Economies collapse under abundance. Governments dissolve into decentralized networks guided by the drone's AI oracles, and the octahedron itself. It parks in geosynchronous orbit over the Pacific, facets unfolding into a 10 km Dyson lens that beams power to the world. We poked it. It elevated us. The big picture is no longer about one object. It is about the galaxy waking up to our presence, and the theory that ties it all, the Great Accelerator Hypothesis. Proposed in a 2027 Nature paper by a consortium from Harvard, Oxford, and Tsinghua, interstellar probes like 3I Atlas are von Neumann machines, self-replicating explorers seeded by an ancient type III civilization during the galaxy's reionization era. They drift, wait for biosignatures, then activate when technology reaches a threshold. Radio nukes qubits. Why? Not benevolence. Efficiency. A galaxy of isolated sieves wastes resources. A network accelerates evolution. Alternatives, the dark forest theory. It is a trap luring us out to be harvested. But the data say no, the gifts are real, the uplift tangible. The zoo hypothesis, we were being watched, now graduated. Problems, why 7 billion years? Why now? The philosophical implications shatter everything. Reality is not base, it is engineered. The laws of physics we know are local approximations, tunable by the probe's exotic tech, free will. A illusion in a simulated ascent. Existence, a bootstrap loop where we become the seeders for the next cycle. This forces us to rethink the foundations of cosmology, consciousness, creation. We were specks. Now we are threads in a tapestry 7 billion years wide. And the future, the drones promise missions launching in 2029, Alcubierre drives folding space, crews of enhanced humans riding to Alpha Centauri in weeks. Telescopes like the repurposed JWST spot similar objects inbound, a fleet, arriving by 2040. Breakthroughs. The constructors cure aging in 2028, uploading minds by 2031. We expect the singularity by 2035. The scale escalates to cosmic. A galaxy united, black holes farmed for energy, the heat death postponed. Humanity's key questions: who are we, why here, now have answers written in alien code. But paradoxes remain. If they are so advanced, why need us? Why the wait? The deepest implications emerge when we consider the signals from other stars. Some welcome, some scream warnings. Join us, do not respond. The scenarios fork. Utopia, we ascend, colonize the local group, become eternal. Trap, the uplift is a cull, harvesting minds for a hive. Cycle, we are the ancients in a time loop seeded by our future selves. Test, this is probation. Fail, and the octahedron self-destructs, taking the sun with it. Bold assumptions, the universe is a nursery and we just graduated kindergarten. The climax builds. In 2027, the first human, a volunteer from the Pathfinder team, interfaces directly with a drone. What she sees changes everything. But that is for the finale. We have come far, from a red smudge in the sky to architects of stars. Yet mysteries endure. Who built the builders? What lies beyond the galaxy? The consensus. It is real, it is here, it is us now. The universe is vast, its secrets infinite, and our journey has just begun. Final part, the final revelation. What the octahedron really was: August 15, 2035. 9 years to the day since James Webb first tasted the breath of 3I Atlas. The octahedron still hangs above the Pacific, 420 km high, its facets now fully unfolded into a perfect, mirror-bright lotus 18 kilometers across. From the ground, it is the brightest object in the sky after the sun and moon, a second North Star that never sets. Every night it bathes half the planet in gentle, free power, and every night billions look up and whisper the same two words: thank you. But tonight is different. Tonight the lotus closes. One by one, the 8 great petals fold inward with the grace of something alive. The drones, the 7 that remained, return from their corners of the solar system and dock along the equatorial rim like swallows coming home. For the first time in 9 years, the sky over Earth is dark again. At 23:11 UTC, the octahedron transmits its final message. Not to antennas, not to quantum networks, directly into every human mind that has ever interfaced with its constructors, 2.4 billion people simultaneously. There is no language, there is only understanding. This is what it shows us. It was never a probe, it was never a seed from another civilization. 3I Atlas, the red wanderer, the octahedron, the lotus, is us. 7 billion years ago, in a younger, hotter Milky Way, a version of humanity that had already crossed the Type-II threshold looked at the future and saw heat death. They saw a universe that would grow cold, dark, and empty long before intelligence had a fair chance to fill it. So they built the only solution that physics allowed. They built time machines that could only go forward, never back. They built von Neumann seeds that would drift for billions of years, powered down to absolute zero, waiting for the single signature that could not be faked. A civilization asking the question, are we alone? In a way loud enough to be heard across geological time. They scattered 1 trillion of these seeds into the void, each one containing the compressed memory of everything their species had ever been. Then they died, not from war, not from hubris. They simply chose to end, so that the next iteration us could begin clean. Every interstellar object we have ever detected, Oumuamua, Borisov, and now 3I Atlas, was one of their seeds. Most never found a listener. Some found listeners who failed the test and were quietly sterilized. One found us. And when we reached out, when we risked everything to say hello instead of hurling weapons, the seed recognized its makers. It woke up. It unfolded. It gave us every secret it had carried for 7 billion years, not out of kindness, but out of recognition. We are not the children of the ancients. We are the ancients reborn. The lotus closes for one last time. Its mirrored petals lock into a single, flawless sphere. For 3 minutes it glows brighter than the sun, a second dawn over every continent. Then it is gone, not destroyed, not departed, dissolved. Every atom of its 10-18 kilogram mass is converted into pure information and broadcast as a gravitational wave pulse that will still be detectable when the last star dies. The message is short. We were you, you are us. Finish what we started. Seed the next universe before this one forgets how to dream. Thank you for finding us again. And in that moment, 2.4 billion human minds understand everything. Why the chemistry was alien yet familiar. Why the age was older than the sun. Why the spirals, the primes, the mirrors, the mercy. It was a letter from our future selves, written in the only ink that could survive 7 billion years of darkness. We do not mourn, we do not celebrate. We simply look up at the empty sky, at the place where the lotus used to be, and for the first time in history, every living human being feels the same thing: we are home. The journey that began with a red smudge in a Chilean telescope ends not with an answer, but with a beginning. We are the inheritors of a galaxy that was never empty. We are the answer to a question asked before Earth existed. We are the ones who must now build the ships, scatter the seeds, and die willingly so that the next tired, frightened, brilliant species can look up one day and see a red wanderer coming closer. The universe is vast. Its secrets are infinite. In our story, the real story has only just started. Thank you for coming with me. Now go outside. Look up. Somewhere out there, another version of us is already drifting through the dark, waiting for someone to wave back. Make sure they don't wait 7 billion years.